Hi, I'm Dom Green with Positive People Posse. I'm excited to show you what we call Positive People Posse presents Taco Talks. This is the look and listen from the minds of the businessmen, women, entrepreneurs, and those who enjoy their lives successfully. We're going to discuss their stories over my favorite food, tacos. Bottom line, if you don't like tacos, I don't trust you. I believe that tacos bring us all together. Be sure to follow us at Positive People Posse at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Good vibes, stay positive.
Alright guys, we ready for some tacos?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Alright, so on this plate here, I have the chicken mole and the asada rays.
Nice.
On this plate here, I have the al pastor, the fried haddock, and then the napales. Some lime wedges in there so you can freshen it up. And then anything else I can get for you right now?
Man, that looks amazing. I think
Any or hot sauce?
hot sauce, yes.
Yes. You want the full board of hot sauces or house hot sauces?
Please.
Alright, I'll get that for you.
All right, grab the taco, man. I'm ready. Grab the taco. I'm ready. You're gonna let me know how this goes. I want to hear like the You
Got
gotta
it.
sell it.
I'm selling it. And I'm going for the
heat.
The
The
heat.
heat in your mouth. The heat in your meat. All right, cheers to you, man.
cheers.
And many, many more dreams. Whoa, oh, hot. Whoa, I'm good now. I can't taste it good enough. Oh, too much heat.
That's
way
so
too much
good though.
Okay, no. I taste the meat now. No, that's delicious.
This is the best taco I've had in a long time.
All right, we're good. So tell me a little bit about your balance. Just life balance.
Well, routines are very, very helpful, obviously. I mean, I'm not an innovator at all when I say that, but routines get the most out of my days. And I just have to set aside time to be with my wife. I mean, is what it boils down to. If I don't put, this is gonna sound so bad, but if I don't put her in the calendar, it's not gonna,
It's not gonna happen.
Not gonna
I
happen.
say that often too.
The calendar is my boss. I do what the calendar says. And if the calendar says, you got to take your wife on a date, then you got to take your wife on a date.
So, the company that you keep, how do you surround yourself? Who do you surround yourself with?
So I've got my high school friends that I use to keep me grounded, so that have not one interest in business whatsoever. And so all we talk about is sports and, whatever guys talk about, competition, barbecue, smoking, whatever.
All the guy stuff.
All the guy stuff. So I need them to keep me grounded and be around me to where I'm not constantly thinking about startups and investing in entrepreneurship. But then at the other end of the spectrum, I purposely put myself, I've got a group of guys in Kansas City and a group of guys in Tulsa to where we get together strictly to get stuff off our chest about entrepreneurship. It's like group therapy it's like Alcoholics Anonymous, but for, entrepreneurs. And so we just go around in a circle and we just bitch for like 20 or 30 minutes a piece. And then they get to provide advice of like, this is how I got through that and this is how I got through that. And it just feels so good to not be alone, which is what, a lot of entrepreneurs feel.
Advice for a person who's an entrepreneur and they don't know where to start. And what's some of the bulk? A couple of bullet points, I guess.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on if they have an idea or not, but it mostly comes down to you have to solve a big problem. So Paul Graham's big thing, and he's one of the guys that I study, his one is build things people want. And it seems like such simple cliche advice, but so many of us are like, oh, we want to start a company. And then they realize that what they've built isn't solving a problem and no one's going to buy it. And so if you think as a customer, we don't spend our money on anything that isn't solving a problem. We're hungry, we buy food, but we don't buy these things where they're like, oh yeah, it's slightly better than what I already know works. We just don't do that. And so when you as an entrepreneur are thinking about what to build, just really, really ask yourself, or find a way to experiment with and prove that you're solving something that's just a giant actual pain, and not just something that sounds cool or looks cool to you, but to where you're like, oh man, customers are like really struggling with it. And I think it's a Dave McClure quote, but I'm not quite sure who to give credit to it. But he said it's like the difference between painkillers, vitamins, and Viagra. If you needed a vitamin right now, how much would you pay for it, right? And it would be maybe 10 cents max. So you pay very little because it's not a big problem. You're not like, oh, I really need a vitamin, so you maybe pay 10 cents or more than likely ignore it. But if you had a headache and I was like, here's a painkiller, how much you want to charge, how much you want for it, or how you'd say, I don't know, $5, $10 because you got a headache and you want to enjoy your lunch. But now if you were a man that needed a Viagra and like, you've just taken home the girl of your dreams and you're just struggling in whatever capacity, that's a huge problem. How much are you willing to pay at that time?
$1,000.
It might be $1,000. And so what we...
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry.
I love her.
Sorry to all moms, but it's just an analogy, okay? So we don't have to, don't read into the analogy too much. But what we want to do as entrepreneurs, we want to find a problem that is analogous to Viagra, which is such a big problem that a human out there is going to be willing to pay a bunch of money for it, as opposed to vitamins, which is a saturated market, not all that special. If you're eating correctly, you don't even need vitamins at all because you're getting it in your food, so it's not a need, it's barely a want. No one's going to pay any money for it. But Viagra, they kind of had a clean slate to just solve a giant problem and become billionaires. Giant problem.
No pun.
Maybe in your case. Mine's more of an average problem. But yeah, so solve a big problem and like actually determine, is this a real problem or am I just pretending it's a real problem?
Wes, I really appreciate this interview. I feel like you're, very authentic. And, I just appreciate just you sharing and being more of a resource to the community as well. And I just need a couple words on how you feel about Kansas City. What's Kansas City to you?
Kansas City is one of the greatest places in the world, and anyone who tries to take that away from us isn't paying enough attention.
Yes! I love your energy.
I've been all over the world.
Yeah.
My passport book couldn't be sluttier looking. I literally have an apartment in a downtown metropolitan city in another state.
Yeah.
I've lived in a lot of different places across the United States. This is home, and it's home for a reason. And we have a lot of stuff going on for us. We pull from all the best.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got all the big city stuff that we would need, and we've got all the small city stuff that keeps our people good people. And we've got great tacos.
Let's go. We got great tacos.
Which is, priority number one.
Yeah.
Especially on this show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thanks again. It's Positive People Posse presenting Taco Talks. Wes Bergman. Thank you.
You're very welcome. But what's even weirder is now that I'm like starting to kind of peak with my good lookingness, there's like all of these women that are coming out of the woodwork with all these like ginger fetishes.
I love it.
Like they're just everywhere. Like you'd think.
It's gotta be tough being a married man and having that ginger.
No, I'm so in love with my wife has a ginger fetish.
Okay,
so
that's great.
So
Obviously.
she just saw, she's a good investor and she bought in early. And now it's too late. The stock has risen. It's at its peak. So
Heck yeah.
surely she's gonna sell any day now.